Hello, my name is Beau Kimler, and I'm here today presenting on the Outlast-1, which is my proposed PocketQube idea that will provide international collaboration and disruptive education via PocketQubes, which are a new kind of fast bus system. Today, I will be presenting solo. So first, what is the Outlast-1's mission? Well, the Outlast-1's main mission is always to educate because we are students, but its secondary mission is looking at bit flips and data protection in low Earth orbit. Data protection is very important regardless of the mission and regardless where you are, here on Earth or all the way out in space. It's very important because if your data gets mishandled, misinterpreted, or corrupted, like information is lost, and that can be very upsetting to some missions. And one way this is done is through bit flips. On the image on the far right, you can see how memory can change. The ones and zeros can be altered and basically flipped to a 1 or a 0 or vice versa. And this can be from many different things such as increasing heat, lowering voltage, or cosmic radiation. This Outlast-1 mission will be using COTS or commercial off-the-shelf hardware in space. Because we are an education mission, we want to prove that you don't need expensive hardware to actually last longer in low Earth orbit. And our education mission is looking at STEM projects in schools and bolstering STEM education through the collaboration of building a PocketQube and a satellite that will go into space. So education and the Outlast-1, how will this help? Well, first, it's through commercial off-the-shelf products. Like I said in my last slide, this shows that you don't have to be a space official to launch something in space and actually prove a mission, but you can just use Arduinos, which we are going to use, to have a successful mission and gather important data. This also will spark early interest in children from around the globe because they will think this project and they will say, wow, that was really amazing. I really enjoy STEM and I want to go into it some more. So STEM jobs are currently decreasing, but the number of STEM jobs there are increasing, but the people who fill those jobs are decreasing, which is crazy, and it's quite bad for our economy and for STEM and future discovery as a whole. So if we can spark early interest through the Outlast-1 and get more people into these STEM jobs or get into the STEM pipeline, get them interested early on, and get them into STEM jobs, that will be a win for STEM and research all around the globe. Also, global education is very important. I know in America, we launched 60% of the educational CubeSats, while others kind of lag behind. So if we can get other people interested in space from around the globe, it will be amazing. So what does the Outlast-1 use? Well, it uses 6 Arduino Unos to carry out its mission, which is very important. These 6 Arduinos will have watchdog timers. We'll go into watchdog timers later, but they're a type of code that can prevent bit flips and other mishaps with data in space. Also, redundancy and triple redundancy. Redundancy means that there will be different Arduinos can take over control at any time if one gets injured. So if 5 of the Arduinos get taken out, always 1 can be used in total. Or triple redundancy is a voting method, which is actually quite popular and is a free-to-use method. Our bus is the Alba Orbital PocketQube, as you can see in the top right corner. The Alba Orbital PocketQube is kind of like a CubeSat, and a CubeSat is 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters. This is 5 by 5 by 5, but this is the 2P, or the 2U of the PocketQube, and it is 5 by 10 by 5, which is very interesting, and they're even more cost-effective for students because how small they are, but you can still carry out missions like the Outlast-1, which will be very important in our future. So the Outlast-1 method, how does it work? Well, there will be specific lines of code that will be coming back down to the ground from the Outlast-1 that the students will analyze for bit flips and any misinterpretations in the data. So basically, we can average out how many bit flips we had using these methods and see how efficient they are compared to other missions. So triple redundancy, as seen on the bottom photo, is there's different, out of the different 6, this one just shows 3, but we'll have different inputs of the code that will be sent down. And if one's incorrect, it will be voted out and the correct one will be sent down. So, but then if most of them are incorrect, then the incorrect code will be sent down. So it can be very efficient, but also very inefficient if a thing like that happens where all of your chips are messed up. And then we'll be using watchdog timers as seen in the center photo. It resets on a hard basis every few seconds. For the Outlast-1, it'll be 5 seconds. So if a bit flip occurs before the information is sent down, the watchdog timer will reset the whole system, and then the data could be correct and revert back to before the bit flip happened, or have a new system or protocol where the bit flip never occurred. So like I said before, this will be for all the students around the globe that we will be helping. They'll be analyzing the data for this proposed mission, which will be very interesting because everyone will have a little slice of the information and looking at it, and will be a very enlightening experience for most students. Also, this will be a very efficient mission, cost-effective and efficient mission because it uses the 2P PocketQubes. So Rowhammer is something that's back on Earth that directly relates to the Outlast-1 mission that the Outlast-1 can also help to solve. So Rowhammer is used to kind of break information and steal information or cause blackouts from different systems, which can be very deadly to places like banks, which hold a lot of secure information. So people can kind of hack into it, cause a memory leak, and steal a lot of information, which can be very dangerous. So it leaks the DRAM, or the dynamic random access memory cells, as seen in the photo, because it stimulates them so much that they start to kind of overheat and leak out their contents. And it's kind of similar to a bit flip where data can be flipped or misinterpreted or just shut down in total. And like I said, it's a threat to many companies down here on Earth. But also, if we look for things in space, information can also be hacked if that's a possibility. And this could be preventable with watchdog timers and maybe other methods, because the watchdog timers could restart the system to before the Rowhammer attack ever happens. So what are the predicted results for this mission in the future? So watchdog timers and redundancy, on the Outlast-1, I'm starting to think, and my team is starting to think, that they will be very helpful, because one example is the Opportunity rover, which was supposed to last only around 1 to 2, 3 years maybe. But instead, with watchdog timers, which it used, lasted around 15 years, which was kind of a surprise to NASA engineers. But this shows the power of watchdog timers, and we can see how powerful they are in low Earth orbit and maybe even here on Earth. Redundancy is a triple redundancy, and redundancy is a method that has been used before, but not looked at greatly. So the Outlast-1 will really dive into it and see how efficient it is. So bit flips are very important to the mission. If they do happen, it's okay because we still get to learn and analyze data. But if they do not occur, that will be another great success for the Outlast-1 if it goes into space. So we predict also that with the watchdog timers and redundancy, this proposed mission will live 4 years in low Earth orbit, or maybe even 5, which is against the norm. But with the power of watchdog timers and redundancy, we think that it will meet up to our standards. And it is a great learning opportunity for students all around the globe, which will help the STEM industry as a whole. So what you heard about today was the Outlast-1, which is a 2P PocketQube, which is a small and cost-effective fast bus for space. Thank you for taking your time to listen to my presentation. Thank you.